I had a feeling. I had a feeling that you guys probably didn't hear anything of that first part. Anyways, I'm about to restart my whole intro because my mic wasn't even plugged in. Yo, 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 what is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your astrology forecast for Monday, October 30th of 2023. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Forgive me for the beginning part there. I had a suspicion. I was like, I don't think my mic is on. So hopefully you guys had a wonderful weekend, and we are pretty much here at the end of October. We got today, and we got tomorrow. We got Halloween. So yeah, hopefully you guys had a wonderful weekend and a wonderful full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus, the last of which we will see for quite a while. So, for a while, we're not going to see these eclipses again until the South Node comes around to Taurus. So we got, it was like, 9-10 years until then? So, yeah. So let's go ahead and hop into the aspects for today, shall we? Okay, as you can see, we do have the moon over here at 28 degrees of Taurus, the sun at 6 degrees of Scorpio. The sun is, of course, picking up speed. A lot happier to be in Scorpio as opposed to Libra, especially with the South Node there. And as you can see, we do have the Mercury-Mars conjunction coming apart just a little bit because Mercury is moving about 1.5 degrees a day, building up, of course, to the opposition with Uranus and Taurus, Mars trailing behind Mercury, traveling at around 40 minutes today, so about 2/3 of a degree a day, essentially, right? As far as other speeds, we have Venus picking up speed, moving over 1 degree a day, just a little bit over, and we will actually see Venus begin to trine Uranus today as well. So as far as like aspects today, as far as like what's exact, like the exact things that are happening, there's not a whole lot going on, but there is a lot of building energy. And I've been talking about this over like the last several forecasts, right? As I've said, we are building up to Mercury and Mars opposing Uranus. We're building up to a Venus opposed Neptune, right? We're building up to the Sun opposing Jupiter. And we're also are building up to Saturn stationing direct. So we have a lot of building energy. This is going to be one of those weeks where you really start to, like, the intensity just gets more and more and more and more and more. And it's going to come to this culmination point next weekend, Saturday, where we kind of, in many ways, sort of have like this pop kind of breakthrough moment, because by the time that Saturn comes direct, we're going to see Mercury opposing Uranus. We're going to see Mars catching up to that spot. We're going to see the Sun opposing Jupiter. We're going to have a lot of interesting energies. Not only that, but Venus is in that last decan of Virgo, which means that we are about 9 to 10 days away from Venus coming into Libra. I gotta look at the exact day when it comes in to see. It's gonna come into Libra. Oh, well, you look at that. It's gonna be November 8th. So yeah, well, we were pretty much right there. We'll see the moon actually getting closer to it. It'll come on top of Venus. So that's kind of a nice thing, that the next time that the moon and Venus conjunct, Venus will actually be at home in Libra, right? So, today we see that moon finishing up in Taurus. Hopefully this Taurus moon gave you an opportunity to get grounded, to kind of get grounded in your sense of value, your sense of self-worth, your moral structure, So that's the thing about this. We're going to see, of course, let me move this back to hours. Boom. Oh, wait, hold on. Days, hours, now, moving forward. There you go. We're going to see that moon slip on into Gemini today around 11:52 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? And when it's doing that, nothing much happens elsewhere in the chart besides the moon shifting. Now, of course, as soon as the moon shifts into Gemini, we do see the square over to Saturn here in Pisces. It's going to be at 0 degrees, right? So, and it's been interesting. Saturn's been at the 0 point for a while. And I've talked about planets being at 0. And we've had it multiple times over the last few weeks where at least 3 planets or so were at 0. Today we get the 2 planets. We get the moon that's shifted into Gemini. Yeah, it runs rather be in Taurus, but it doesn't mind being in Gemini. But then it squares over to Saturn. These can definitely be this could definitely be a day where emotions can be a bit all over the place, squaring over to Saturn, where Saturn is, we're trying to navigate these waters. We're trying to figure out how to captain this ship, if you will. And being stuck here at 0 degrees, this is like the longest pit stop that we've had to take for a while with Saturn. It's like, and if you could just if I could just paint this image for you, if you will, if there were like gas stations for ships in the ocean, whatever like that, and then like I know this sounds like stupid, right? But like it's like the ship has been stuck at the same island, if you will, gathering materials for what seems like weeks on end. Like it's just been stuck here, and we're trying to like figure out. I was like, all right, how? Like we still have to navigate the rest of this ocean that is this Pisces energy, and Saturn has been stuck on an island, for the longest time, and that's why things just feel like they aren't moving forward when it comes to Saturnian things, when it comes to business, when it comes to work, when it comes to career, when it comes to these larger organizational aspects in our life. It feels like things are kind of stuck. And with the moon shifting into Gemini, squaring this energy, it's going to present a challenge. This is like the Wilson moments in freaking Castaway. Like, this is the moment where Tom Hanks has freaking, like, he created Wilson out of his imagination, right? Pisces, out of his imagination, gave himself a companion, and because dude started going crazy. So this moon, and this is only going to last for a short amount of time, this moon squaring this energy, but the moon will also square Neptune over the next 48 hours. So this is sort of like the beginning of it, where this is like the crash, if you will. The moon, with the moon squaring over Saturn, is us realizing, becoming aware. Is like, oh shit, well, we've been kind of stuck in the same spot for a while, right? By the time that the moon squares over to Neptune, that's when we are in full blown Wilson, like, and we can get to that weird moment where it's like, it's almost sort of like a weird delirium, trying to view our situation, trying to figure out, all right, how do I survive? How do I navigate these waters? And we kind of create that companion for ourselves. We give ourselves maybe that goal, maybe we give ourselves that dream, but it can definitely have us in a moment, especially I feel like today, leading up to the spooky season, right? Where we already are in spooky season, but like leading up to Halloween and Dia de los Muertos, we're gonna see these moments with this moon in Gemini where it's gonna be it's gonna be very bouncy. It's gonna be squaring the Neptune energy. It's gonna be quincunxing all of the Scorpio energy, which provides like this awkward stare where our shadows are gonna be kind of looking at us like this. It's like, are you going to acknowledge me? Or are you just going to sit there and just keep, suppressing me and shit? And that's kind of the area that we're going to be moving into, right? And like I said, Saturn has been stuck here for a while. I mean, let's just go back a month, right? Okay, so yeah, we can say that the last time that the moon was here in Gemini, let's see. Yeah, the last time that the moon was here in Gemini, Saturn hadn't gotten to 0 degrees of Pisces yet. It didn't move to 0 degrees of Pisces until the moon was in Virgo, right? So the moon, yeah, it makes its full revolution, right? And we get back to Gemini, and that moon is still, and that Saturn is still at 0 degrees. So, and actually, hold on, let me just go back to because I've been like really harping on the Saturn at 0 degrees. All right, we've been there since October 10th, right? So on October 30th, right? Saturn doesn't get to 1 degree. Of course, the moon's going to pass over it. It doesn't get to 1 degree until the moon is back into Gemini. Until the moon is back into Gemini. That's when Saturn will finally get out of the 1 degree mark, which makes sense actually. So we have another whole revolution of the moon going around before things really start to click, before we finally get off of this island, if you will. Today, like I said, a bit of a precursor to that, where it's like, okay, how do we handle this challenge when it comes to that? Remember Gemini, it's mercurial. It likes to see different sides. It's a bit of a social butterfly. It's about our thoughts. You know what I mean? It's about writing, communication. All these buzzwords for Mercury, right? It's also the trickster. We forget that Mercury is a bit of a trickster kind of energy. It's the Joker of the zodiac. So this moon squaring over to Saturn, like I said, this is the moment where we realize, oh shit, we crashed. Maybe it's the moment that we wake up from the dream, or we wake up from like having the concussion, and then we're like, oh shit, I crashed on this freaking island. Maybe it's a ship, maybe it was a plane, right? Maybe it's like that show Lost, and then you're like, oh crap, now you have to survive. Now you got to survive, because we forget about Saturn. Saturn is about survival as well. We forget about how it's like, the hard stuff, the attrition, the things that we have to go through, the lead that we have to go through to survive. We forget that Saturn does have that too, and this is in Pisces. So this is dealing with spiritual matters, the esoteric in many ways. So we're going to see that moon squaring over to Saturn, right? I would say it's pretty equal as far as like how strong they are. I would say that maybe the moon edges out Saturn just slightly, only because Saturn is retrograde. So this is one of those moments where maybe we wish our circumstances were a little bit different. Maybe we wish that we had a different kind of conversation with someone. Maybe we wish that we had communicated our dreams a little bit differently. Well, this gives us an opportunity to sort of recalibrate and to start to fill in more of those details on what do we really want. You know what I'm saying? What do we really want to accomplish? Who are the people that we want to connect with, that their morals align with ours? Not beliefs, but morals, right? Because we're going to see that Venus hit that 21 degree mark and make its trine over to Uranus. And this is a beautiful thing too. What's interesting about it, though, is that neither of these planets are particularly happy, though. Venus doesn't like to be in Virgo, much rather be in Pisces, and Uranus doesn't want to be in Taurus, much rather be in Scorpio. So this is sort of those moments where it's like you're in the trenches, if you will, and you can connect with someone or something or some situation, harmonize with something. It's like, you know what? We're both in weird places in our life right now. We're both in weird places in our travels right now around the zodiac, but at least we can find something to be grateful for. At least we can find something to be happy about, and to try and to establish some sort of joy. This is like one of those weird camaraderie moments where it's like you look at the person next to you, it's like, you know what, you're not exactly where you want to be. I'm not exactly where I want to be. We acknowledge that, and we know that we can move forward. Let's see how we can help each other. Let's see how we can be each other's accountability partners. Let's see how, with the Uranus and Taurus, where we can find some sort of common ground, because Venus is going to want to find some sort of common ground. And it's in Virgo, so this has to do with our day-to-day reality. This has to do with our service to humanity, right? And like I said, this deals with morals, because I feel like, if anything, Taurus is more morality, like morals, like common values, and Sag is belief. And a lot of times, like I said, the two get conflated. But what's interesting about this is that Jupiter's here in Taurus, right? So Venus did just came off of a trine to Jupiter not that long ago. And we have, as far as like the degree itself, the 2 + 1 is 3, which is Jupiter energy. So you can see how beliefs and morality are getting very conflated. They can kind of rhyme, they can be similar, but they're not exactly the same. And I think that's what we're seeing here, is that people are conflating the two, thinking that they're the same, when that's not the case, right? You can have two separate religions that have different beliefs, but both of those beliefs have a foundation or a facet in a rule or something, or a commonly held value that you should not kill someone, or you should not lie to someone, or you should not cheat someone. You find both of those values or those morals within both of those beliefs, but the beliefs aren't quite the same. So that's the thing about this. This is about getting to the roots of things, right? And there is a purpose for beliefs. There is a positive aspect with beliefs. I think the problem is that when they become conflated and then people try to say that this or this, like Sag and Pisces is the end all be all. But it always starts back around. The cycle always starts back around. So it's not the end all be all. It's not the end all be all. That's the thing about this, right? So it's going to be an interesting day. I think it'll be an interesting day. I think that Moon in Gemini, it's going to actually bring about a bit of a lightness because, we're coming off of the full moon lunar eclipse. And of course, the moon likes to be in Taurus, but the Moon in Gemini, it's definitely going to bring a bit of a lightness, maybe even bring like a bit of a comedic edge to sort of thing. So this gives us an opportunity to kind of laugh things off, to kind of enjoy this time, to find those people to have camaraderie with, not take things super, super heavy and so serious. This Moon in Gemini is going to be a bit lighter. You know what I'm saying? So that's the nice thing about this. Now, whether or not we just go kind of crazy with it, I guess is another story, right? Where it's like, are we going to look at a situation and we just feel like it has to look a certain way and then go crazy that's not going that certain way, and then start building up these delusions in our head of grandeur without putting in the hard work and effort that it takes to actually achieve those things, thinking that we are entitled to something. And so the part about this is like we have to be aware of our entitlements, be aware of what we feel like we deserve, But have you put in any effort? Have you actually done anything? Have you moved forward? Have you meditated? Are you doing the spiritual work? Are you doing the light work? You know what I'm saying? Or are you parroting what other people are saying? That's the other thing too. This moon coming into Gemini, swearing this Pisces energy, you're going to start seeing people parroting professionals and shit. Experts. You're going to start to see that, parroting them. Experts, like in this more, in the more, I guess you could say, logical sense, like scientists, what about that with, Saturn here, and then also the experts when it comes to religions and spirituality and stuff like that too. And I mean like more like the established religions and stuff too. So you're going to see people parroting like science, the experts, and then you're going to see them start to parrot the experts when it comes to religion as well. And it's like this weird tennis match, and when we kind of caught between. You have to somehow find a way to be centered through all this and find a way to not pick sides, to rise above that rise above that battle that they're trying to keep us all in and keep us pit against each other. So where we won't realize that we are all one family and we're all on the same fucking team. Like we have to ask ourselves, what is humanity doing? As a whole, what are we doing? We can ask ourselves what we're doing in our personal lives, of course. But what is humanity doing? What is humanity doing? What is the purpose of humanity? What are we moving towards? I think we are coming into an age where we are going to be establishing a collective goal. And we used to have collective goals. We used to have collective goals to strive towards something, to reach the stars. And whether or not you believe we actually reach the stars or they hit a firmament and we can't get out of it, I think the goal is still to reach the stars. Whether we actually went there and we haven't been able to go back, or like I said, we hit the firmament. But I think the goal is eventually to go on and ascend and reach the stars. But somewhere along the way, we kind of lost that. But I think we're coming into an age where we're reestablishing the collective goal and the collective mission of humanity, right? So by the end of the day, you're going to see, of course, that moon hit 7 degrees. So we'll begin its quincunxing journey to the Scorpio energy, which is going to be happening over the next few days. It'll happen, like, I guess, overnight. But mostly Tuesday, we'll see that moon start to quincunx Mars and Mars and Mercury, excuse me. And of course, we'll talk more about that tomorrow. And Venus and Uranus will come into its exact trine as well. So, but like I said, we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Let's go ahead and hop into the cards for today. Let's see what we got going on. All right, let's see what we got going on. Ooh. At first, everything was like shuffling smooth, and then I had a little bit of a hiccup there. So, all right, let's see what we got going on. Let's see what we got going on. I'm gonna do one more shuffle on this. Oh, no, maybe not. All right, let's see what we got for the cards today. Well, we have the Ace of Wands in reverse. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like we're kind of looking at creative projects and things that we want to initiate, and maybe we don't feel the full power today, you know. And I honestly, this probably, like I said, this is applying to everyone. So if you think that you're alone and feeling like this, it's like, it's not that bad. It's not that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this is an ace. So it's like, maybe there's like a particular spell that we're trying to learn and we're kind of like messing up. I think it's like we feel like we're entitled to know how to cast this spell, if you will, spooky vibes, to be able to cast this spell, if you will, and we think that we have to like be perfect or like we have to figure out on the first try. No, this is going to take practice. Practice makes perfect. So if you're trying to bring something into your life, you're trying to manifest something right now, and you're casting this spell, if you will, to try and manifest it, and it's not coming up immediately and almost feels like it's like a dud. It's kind of like in Fairly Odd Parents when they try to make a wish, when Timmy tries to make a wish and Cosmo and Wanda try and do it with their wands and they do like the whole limp noodle thing. Like they lose the erection. Today's gonna be a day where it feels like maybe your erection for life kind of goes down. Maybe some people are feeling like that. They don't have like an erection for life metaphorically. We're all kind of feeling like this, but I think this is going to be like we can't expect things to happen immediately on the first try or even the second or third try. We got to give it some time. We got to give some effort. We got to put in the work. You know what I'm saying? So don't get discouraged about that. If you're trying to implement a plan, if you're trying to do a little bit of spiritual self-care or whatever it is, if it doesn't go perfect on the first try, the first attempt, or even the 10th attempt, just keep moving. This is about maintaining our consistency. This is about maintaining our vibrational integrity and just keep putting in the effort. Not every day is going to be 100%. Some days are going to be 80. Some days are going to be 50. Some days are going to be like 42. Some days are going to be like 11. But so long as you keep putting in some sort of effort every single day, you will arrive at your destination. Now, we do have the Tower card here as well. So don't go creating Tower moments in your head today with that moon's going into Gemini. Don't go creating these weird situations where you feel like you have to like blow things up because your wand isn't working and it's not manifesting exactly the way that you thought it was going to work, and because your first, second, or third attempt didn't really get you there. Just because if you're not feeling 100% today, it doesn't mean that the world is over. It doesn't mean that you have to just destroy everything. I think the Tower moment today comes is if we get too trapped in our head and wanting the world to look a certain way. And if it doesn't match up to the way that it looks, then that something must be terribly wrong and something must be terribly off and everything's actually working the way it's supposed to be. We have the Page of Wands here. So we are definitely in practice mode. We are definitely in student mode. We have to allow ourselves to become students of this world again. We have to. So many people think that they figured this world out, that they figured everything out, that they figured life out. So many people have thought that they figured everything out and that they're experts and that there's nothing that anyone can tell them. Some people think that they got it all figured out. Now we're going back to school. Humanity is going back to school. This world, this whole experience, this whole world is a school, but we're kind of going back to school, and we're going into like a recital. You know what I mean? Right? We are in recital mode. That's what shoot. Saturn and Pisces is, yeah. This is like the conductor, right? Pisces being the music and stuff. So it's like, yeah, we are doing a recital. Everybody is. That includes the people that no, it became clear. That includes the people that are just sitting on their laurels thinking that what they've done is enough, that they got it all figured out, they've achieved it all. But no, we are being asked to look deeper. We're asked to find that erection for life again, find that excitement for life again. You know what I'm saying? And sparking that off. And no, let's not go creating weird tower moments just because it doesn't match the way it looks in our head. It's like, that's the thing about this. We can be like, oh, well, in my head, and all through all of these things that I've seen, and all of these studies and all this research and stuff like that, why does it look this way? This isn't according to my calculations. You forgot to take into consideration that regardless of what you study, astrology included, that God will always throw curveballs. Will always throw us curveballs. And that's kind of the purpose of this. Is what keeps us on our toes. It what helps us to evolve and to grow and expand are the curveballs that we get thrown. So if you think that it's supposed to look a certain way and we think we figured it out, nah, not quite. But that's the beauty of it. So we have to allow ourselves to see the beauty in being wrong and not always being right. Because that just means that there's a higher vibration to move to. And that's what we should strive for. That is going to do it for your astrology forecast today. I hope that you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. If you would like to have a personal reading with me, beloved, you can follow the link in the description below to my website, jphoenix.com. And as always, y'all take care. Stay blessed. Have a wonderful Monday. I will see you guys on Halloween astrology forecast. Peace.